underserved area, and all we're doing is making it more difficult to be served. I understand helping with employees and making sure that we have rest breaks and things like that, but I also understand that we need to care for patients first and foremost. And by putting these types of mandates on a critical access hospital that literally serves a handful of individuals, I would submit to you, those nurses probably do get breaks. They probably play cards for a considerable amount of the day.
All right, everybody. Welcome to yet another week of the Doe and 5-0 show. Joe, did you have a good week so far?
I have.
It's still pretty early in the week, so
I was just
plenty of time for things to go downhill.
They've got a lot of time.
So we've been a little busy this week already, right? So we did decided to touch on a sensitive subject again this week with the. We'll go ahead and start with that story right out of the gate, I guess.
All right.
So yesterday we shot a goofy video, kind of thrown back to the donut challenge video for those of you that follow those, and we decided to include some of our nurse friends and family, and do a video based off of the senator out of Washington State, Joe Maureen Walsh. Have you been? Obviously, you followed it because.
Obviously, yes.
So. Miss Walsh, she
is Dane Bramaged.
Dane Bramaged?
Yes. I don't know what the hell she was thinking.
I don't know if she knows what she's thinking either. Basically, she was, she's a Republican senator out of Washington, and she more or less said that nurses get plenty of breaks throughout the day. And
she said in the small hospitals that they don't need to be paid for their interrupted lunch breaks because
they probably
usually
play
cards right
throughout the most of the day.
It's like, wow, she's never been to a hospital, which that's great. I'm glad she's healthy.
Yeah, well, she's getting older, so she's not going to be healthy for much longer, unfortunately.
No, and there's going to be a nurse that's going to take her out anyway.
So before we get too far into the story, I guess I should have introduced where we are today. Welcome to the Mecca, ladies and gentlemen. To the happiest place on earth, next to the Apple Store.
This isn't Lambeau Field.
Oh, gag me. You are inside beautiful Notre Dame Stadium. Spring ball has already started for any college football fans out there. We had our spring games within the last couple of weeks, and looking forward to an exciting 2019-2020 season for my Fighting Irish, Joe.
Yeah, I'm sure they're ranked in the top 10 like they always are, so they can ultimately fall through the season like they always do.
Mm. And how'd the Packers do last year again?
What?
Yeah. All right, Joe and I got a whole football season ahead of us to get. We're all kind of early to the game. I just wanted to come for the friendly blue-gray skies there in the background of South Bend, Indiana.
It's nice here.
Have you ever been to Notre Dame's campus before?
I have.
Question. You have actually been
I have, yes.
I'm shocked.
Yep.
Beautiful place. Even if you're not a Notre Dame fan, it's a very beautiful campus. It really is.
I've been to a game.
Have you?
But I sat in the less expensive seats. My butt still hurts.
It can be salty. With that being said, don't let Joe fool you. You can still go to those games for reasonable prices too.
No. I meant the seats hurt.
Just from the seats. Okay.
not my wallet.
Well, they're not. They don't have stadium seating like you would probably get. I don't know. Does Lambeau have stadium seating? Or
they have some pretty nice seating.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm sure they do. So, anyway, we kind of got off topic here. So yesterday we shot a video with some of my family and friends that are nurses, and we kind of did a goofy parody off that. Told some really awesome nursing jokes.
Those are terrible jokes.
They're really bad jokes.
They were I didn't even understand half of it.
Maybe you're the one with the Dane Bramaged or whatever it is.
Well, maybe I am. But Mr. Mooney didn't understand them either, so...
Anyway, folks, Senator Walsh, we already touched on what she said, and obviously there's a huge backlash for her based on her comments about nurses here in the United States and what they do and don't deserve. I'm married to a nurse. Joe's mother was a nurse, and we're both very well aware of how hard they work and how stressful their jobs can be, and we have nothing but love and respect for anybody that does that type of job. So we just had a good time with it, made a goofy video, so if you haven't seen it already, go ahead and go back and check through the Facebook or YouTube pages, and you can see the video on there. It took off pretty quick last night. So
it did. You almost died, though.
I did almost die, but luckily, even though the nurses were mad at me, they still saved my life. So.
After cards.
After they played cards.
Right. And a few donuts.
Everybody likes donuts.
Well, yeah.
I bet even Senator Walsh likes donuts. She looks like she likes donuts.
She can't have any donuts. So.
All right, we're going to move on to the next news story of the day. This one is based out of Wyoming, Michigan. We're actually not starting the day with a story out of Florida. Can you believe it?
Wyoming, Michigan.
Wyoming, Michigan.
All right.
5-year-old boy had a craving for McDonald's, but his grandmother was sleeping, so he decided to call 911 instead and make a request. WZZM TV in Grand Rapids reported that 5-year-old Isaiah Hall of Wyoming, Michigan asked the dispatcher, "Can you bring me McDonald's?" Dispatcher said she told him no, but she reached out to one of the local officers working. The officer laughed so hard he decided on the way to do the welfare check on the house to pick up the boy a Happy Meal and left him in peace there. He was afraid that Grandma was going to get mad when the cop showed up, so as soon as he accepted the Happy Meal, he told the cop to go away because he didn't want to get in trouble.
Now, would you do that?
Call 911?
No, not not call 911 for a Happy Meal. If you were responding to a 911 for a well check,
if I knew the nature of it, I would probably have done the same thing. I mean, I've actually left scenes and gone and got kids stuff and brought it back to them before, just because I kind of felt bad for the
So
the
if I would call in and say I need a tenderloin from or a fillet from Outback, you'd pick that up for me?
Too far away.
I like it medium well. I like the mushrooms on it.
Medium well.
Yeah.
He likes a dry piece of meat.
No.
Yeah. Medium rare. That's the way you eat your steak. That's the way a guy should eat a steak.
Oh, see, in the civilized world, we cook our meat.
Civilized.
Yes.
Coming from you, civilized. Interesting. Out of Middletown, Rhode Island, 60-year-old Massachusetts Fire Department captain was charged with disorderly conduct after he walked into a 7-Eleven store butt naked.
Well, why?
Linfield Fire Captain John Walsh did the stunt on April 3rd on a dare from his 29-year-old girlfriend, Tammy McNougal, after he told her it wasn't a crime to be naked in Rhode Island. According to the news station, it may not be against the law to be naked in Rhode Island. However, a person can face criminal charges if it causes someone else distress. So he decided to take the dare and go into the 7-Eleven.
Was he charged anything then?
Butt naked. He went.
Did he cause distress?
Yeah. So the clerk was distressed by it, so she called the police. He ended up being taken away butt naked. Well, he did have he had some handcuffs on, so I guess he wasn't completely naked. So investigation is still being.
What is there to
ongoing,
investigate? I don't understand.
Well, justice isn't always swift, so I don't know.
All right, so okay, so his 29-year-old girlfriend.
But good for him having a 29-year-old girlfriend at his advanced age, right?
How old is he?
He was 60. He's in the 60s.
He's in his 60s.
Yeah.
What would? Okay.
Yeah. Here's another good one. Now we're going to go to Florida. Okay, I know we have at least one Florida story out of Florida.
St. Lucia?
St. Lucie?
Yeah, it's always there.
I've actually got a friend that lives down there, and I used to work with her many years ago at a business, and she and her family, her husband and her kids, that he ended up getting a job in that area. I don't know if it's actually in St. Lucie. I don't know if I say it right, St. Lucie or Lucie, but she actually lives there, so I sent her a message last week. So what in the hell's going on?
Yeah,
what's going on down there?
It's a strange.
Because they always post these beautiful, majestic-looking pictures of this place. I mean, it looks like paradise, and then we see all these articles of craziness going on down there. So, out of Doral, Florida, it's something you would hope would be spelled. And if you ever hoped anything would be spelled correctly in any situation, it would be outside of a school, inside or outside of a school.
I would imagine.
Unfortunately, this school district, instead of spelling school the proper way, SCHOOL, going across the crosswalk so the kids know where to cross, it was spelled SCOHOL. Obviously, a parent was concerned about this lack of spell checking, I guess, before they spray painted this sidewalk, and it went viral online in that area anyway. And I guess this took off on Twitter. A parent posted it on Twitter, and that's where it took off at. So apparently the snafu won't stick around. However, once the city of Doral saw the viral post, they responded on Twitter saying they're working expeditiously to correct it, and thanked everyone for bringing it to their attention. I'm not even sure how you could butcher school that bad. Maybe SKOOL if you're a bit of an idiot, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
SC. Oh, well, they just switched around the H and the O.
Maybe they're dyslexic.
Okay, well, you know what? It was hard for me to understand when you spelled it, but I saw that on the screen. I see what they did now. They're still stupid.
STOOPID.
Stupid.
Okay, this one is out of Goshen, Indiana, not far from where we're at, Joe, right?
Right.
An officer in northern Indiana faces disciplinary action after he parked in a handicap accessible parking spot. Stephanie Bontrager posted a picture on Facebook of Goshen PD car inside the accessible parking lot, unfortunately outside of a Dunkin' Donuts.
Well, that's good.
The post has been shared more than 1,000 times and obviously brought attention to the PD. The admin is looking into the incident and determined there was no emergency to justify the officer parking there. It's not acceptable for anyone, including first responders, except during an emergency, to park in a handicapped spot without proper plates. And the officer ended up receiving a 1-day suspension for parking in that spot.
I've seen police cars parked in the no parking zone, just right by a fire hydrant, just half a block away from the bakery.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen this before. I'm sure that there's been guys with the PD that have caught in flack for parking in a handicapped spot or whatever. I've never parked in a handicapped spot unless like that article says. Sometimes the situation, you're in a hurry, you got to get somewhere close. And at least in our area, in our neck of the woods here in Indiana, just about every business you go to, it seems like there's like 20 handicap spots in front of on each side of the door.
How about Kroger's?
Yeah.
Are there that many handicapped people in Indiana?
So that's my point though, is
right.
People that do not have a handicap sticker or tag or anything, they have to do some walking a lot, especially at the grocery store to get inside. So if I have an emergency run somewhere and there's not, sometimes you got to park where you got to park, right? So
right, like for donuts or coffee.
And when you're hungry and you want some donuts, hey.
Yeah. What else can you do?
So, I'm assuming he probably won't make that mistake again. Obviously, cameras are everywhere.
He probably just went in there for a second. I'm sure they made a bigger
it
deal
didn't
about
notate
it.
how long, if he was in or out or anything like that. So, it could have been one of those things where he went in there right when the store opened, nobody was around, or who knows. So, anyway, next story out of once again in Florida, Gulfport, Florida. Authorities say a 71-year-old man filled a squirt gun with urine. What is it with people and urine in Florida?
Urine in Florida, yes.
That must be a dirty, dirty place to live. I've been to Florida a handful of times, and I mean, it's pretty nice. I like the climate and everything.
Who's your friend down there? No, you probably shouldn't say her name. No. All right, sorry.
I don't know if Gulfport's anywhere near where St. Lucie is or not, but...
Whew. All right, so...
Anyway, he filled a squirt gun with urine and sprayed a woman who was walking her dog down the street. Gulfport PD said that... I've lost my article. Apologies. Technology problems today.
Should we make a story up then?
Gulfport PD said in the arrest report that Joe William Benjamin approached the woman on Sunday and squirted her several times with a gun filled with urine. The report says Benjamin told officers he would do it again, but was unclear what motivated the attack. He would do it again.
But he didn't know why.
He faces a misdemeanor battery charge and left jail posting a $500 bond. Lawyer for Benjamin wasn't listed on their local court records. And Gulfport, if you don't know, is near St. Petersburg on Florida's Gulf Coast.
So if you're looking for a place to visit,
that ain't it. Yeah, I mean, that's 2 stories about urine coming out of Florida. And obviously, I'm sure that people probably pee on the sidewalk or something like that every day, everywhere, right? So, but Florida's taking a beating in the headlines here with the
I've never really seen that, and I haven't seen anybody pee in a squirt gun before.
You've never seen anyone pee out in public?
No. I haven't.
His business is off an alleyway, folks. An alleyway.
I've never seen them.
Just saying. I bet some of your local business partners behind you would say that they've caught people urinating back there.
I think they have.
I know they would. This story broke last week after Joe and I had already recorded the show. Very sad news. Notre Dame Cathedral, obviously the big fire.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded like almost all of the artifacts were actually recovered before the church burnt and got extensive damage.
Oh, good. I didn't know that.
So, I mean, that was a big thing for religious people. The Catholic, obviously, Notre Dame's in a very religious or very Catholic
right.
Heavy area. And you know, the crown of thorns was one of the big things that people were concerned about, which
Mhm.
supposedly this is the crown of thorns that Jesus had when he was crucified.
I didn't even realize that they have the actual crown of thorns. I didn't know that.
Right. Well, legend has it. I don't know how you could ever prove that for sure. I guess
It seems like if it was truly wood, that it would have not made
Yeah.
it this long. But all right,
who knows? So
yeah, I don't know.
anyway, it's kind of cool to see that corporations and wealthy individuals alike they're stepping up for the rebuilding efforts. It doesn't look like they're going to have any troubles rebuilding the church. This article and it goes into great detail about. I'm sure all of you have seen the headlines and read the news stories about what happened, so I'm not going to go into that. But just the one that I bookmarked to touch on today was Apple was pledging a large chunk of change to help rebuilding. So are politicians and other organizations and stuff. So
Right.
it's very cool that people are stepping up to do that and try and obviously it's probably never going to be the same, right? I mean, you're never going to be able to replace that authentic architecture, I would think.
I don't know what they're planning on doing. I'd have to read more up on that.
Yeah,
but I think they're going to probably try to replicate it the best they can.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. So awesome that all these companies and organizations are willing to step up and individuals that have a lot more money than Joe and I will ever be able to fathom in our course of our life. But sad, that is a sad story. So our thoughts and prayers go out to that community over there.
Was anybody hurt in that?
There was, I believe there may have been some firemen that were injured, but nobody was seriously injured. I don't think
Okay, great.
during the course of it. So I remember seeing a video where the patrons were they were obviously safe distanced off, but they were singing church hymns as the fire was shooting up in the sky. It was kind of a haunting thing to watch, but kind of cool at the same time. But hits a lot of people hard. It's a very religious community there, so our thoughts go out to those guys for sure. This is an old news story. It's like 3 years old. It's funny. Okay, so don't get all serious about it. But somebody decided to take some time to write a miraculous news story where a miracle teenager survives on his own for almost 6 hours without any Wi-Fi.
What?
6 whole hours. Now, I live in no man's land where internet seems to go to die, and that's not much fun for my youngest son who likes to stream his video games online. Long gone are the days where you can just throw a cartridge in a machine and turn it on and go. You got to download the game, and of course, instead of your friends coming over to play the game with you, you can just play with them from wherever they are in the world as long as they have an internet connection too. So,
God forbid real interaction.
Real interaction, it's dead. So, anyway, this is just kind of a parody news story. I thought it was funny. What has helped us be a miracle, as a miracle, one Waterford teenager has reportedly survived in his home with no connection to the internet for almost 6 whole hours. Answering to the name of David Gowan, the 16-year-old was found in distressed state yesterday evening, walking through his neighborhood, holding a Samsung Galaxy above his head, looking for a signal and muttering incoherently. Another Droid user.
I was just going to say, perhaps if he had an Apple, you think you'd have picked up the connection?
Emergency services were notified, and David was brought to a nearby Starbucks and hooked up to their Wi-Fi immediately. It remains unclear how long the team was left at home without internet for such a long period of time, and a search has begun to find his parents with fears that they may have other kids without even a single bar of coverage.
That'd be awful.
So this was 3 years ago. I just wanted to touch that because, Joe and I talk quite a bit on here and just outside on our own, that the lack of social skills that we're seeing in a lot of, I guess, the younger generation.
Right.
And, this fake news story was made three years ago. So
it'd be worse now.
How bad was it for that guy that wrote that story 3 years ago to where, wonder what he thinks about how things are even now, because
right.
things are much worse now than they were 3 years ago, in my opinion. How do you think that you get away from? Is there any turning back now to where people, this generation that's growing up now, to where they will be willing to set down their electronic devices and interact with each other face to face?
No, I think it's up to all of our, it's up to people like you have young children yet.
Right.
It's up to you to get your kids off doing something, and you do that. You guys go off as a family, you guys do things like that. It's up to us. I mean, my kids are older now, But we did things together. We just wrestling around the living room or something like that. We did things together. Of course, always having been in business, they would be with me quite a bit, see me talking to different customers or people like that, and they would have to correspond with them too. I guess a lot of kids don't have that now.
Right.
And it's sad. A teenager will come into the bakery and they'll ask for a donation. I get that a lot. And I can scare the crap out of them by starting a conversation with them. They come in, they know they have to come. If they call me, I'll make them come in.
Right.
And I make them tell me not only, oh, I need money for this and this. Okay, well, what's the plan? You know, what are you doing with this? What where are you going? When are you gonna be back? What place are you going to see? What is this for? How do you think this is going to advance your career? What you think you're going to do and stuff like that? They don't know what the hell to say, and that's really sad. They should be able to start a conversation.
So, I don't know. It's obviously the more even. It seems like any business you go to in anymore even has Wi-Fi, and it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter
Right.
if it's your local coffee shop or the hardware store. Almost everybody has Wi-Fi now, and I think a lot of that is for business purposes because they need the internet to maybe run their cash machines or whatever
Right.
the case may be, balance their books, whatever. But it's obviously enticing as a customer if they have free Wi-Fi. Not everybody has unlimited data on their phones.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking for the nearest hotspot. A lot of teenagers don't know, maybe they don't even have data on their phones, depending on their parents' financial situation or whatever. So they can go to the local coffee shop and connect to the Wi-Fi and do whatever it is they're going to do. They can, you can text and make phone calls and everything on Wi-Fi now. So I don't know. It's just sad to me because I had such a great time growing up, hanging out with my buddies and running
Right.
around and all that. Social interaction, the face-to-face interaction, and
Well, like in the bakery in the mornings,
Mhm.
when you come in, a lot of people come in the back of the bakery, and we all talk and interact, and it seems lost. It seems like they're never going to experience things like that, and that's too bad.
well, I don't know. And Joe's right. It's up to the parents that are raising the kids now to, I guess before the phones and the tablets, you started to see a trend maybe of televisions being the babysitter in some homes where they would
Mhm.
just plop your kid in front of the TV and mom and dad would do whatever it is they're going to do. Sometimes they even leave the house and just leave the kid there sitting in front of the TV like
Right.
a zombie. So, trend started a long time ago. It's obviously getting worse. You have to work really hard. My wife and I, we work. We both have more than one job, and we work hard, and we're tired, but we still make time to spend time with our children and take them to do things, even if we're tired and would rather just go crash in bed for the night when we get home.
Right.
We try and make that time to spend time with our kids. Tomorrow's never promised, right? So don't take advantage of, well, there's always time tomorrow or the next day or the next week. So if you have a chance to spend some quality time with your kids, we encourage you to do it. So even though I got way too many to do that with.
You have so many kids.
700 children.
700.
So I am going to show this video to Joe. I'll play it up here in the background here. So we're going to be kind of quiet, and I'll let Joe listen to this news story. It is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So basically, this is out of Florida again.
I'm never going to Florida.
Maybe we just need to move there and just do a live show for.
That's all. It's just all be about. Is this about pee?
The news stories will come to us.
Yes.
They'll just come to the background. So.
Is okay? I see a girl there. Is she peeing on something?
Well,
she got a bag of
I'm
squirt
telling
on.
you,
What is she doing?
This is fantastic. This video is fantastic.
All right.
So basically, this story is going to revolve around a Florida man that winds up in jail after he attempted to burglarize a 65-year-old woman's car. Okay, so
All right.
let me get the see if I can get the video loaded up here. It's quite fantastic. This lady is very animated, and she went about to be robbed, and props to her for it. So
It was early Sunday morning when Clarice Gainey said that she heard a noise outside her apartment. She peeked out her window to see a large, police say 300-pound man pulling on her car door handle and knocking on its window, attempting to break in, all while only wearing his boxers.
So I grabbed my bat. I braced myself. I eased the door open.
That's when Gainey says 5'6", 300-pound Antonio Mosley charged her. Little did he know she was a high school softball player, a 65-year-old slugger.
I took that bat and hit him upside the paya. He said, "Oh!"
That's when police say Mosley ran to a nearby mobile home park, leaving behind his jeans, shirt, and a sock.
He was in his drawers. He didn't have no shoes on, no shirt, or nothing.
Police say a K-9 unit tracked Mosley down inside a mobile home with new pants on and cocaine in his pocket. Officers brought him back to Gainey to identify him.
I said, yeah. I said, that's him right there. They said, Miss Gainey, he got a big knot on his head.
Mosley was booked in the Alachua County Jail with 2 charges of burglary and drug possession.
If he better be glad I didn't have a gun, because I would have shot him. But this is my gun right here, because I was going, paya!
Paya.
So, okay,
Hilarious.
so the young man was 5'6", 300 pounds.
Rather stout gentleman.
I'm 5'6", and I go about 190. I can't even imagine 110 pounds added. But she, what? So he was in a robe, no pants on, socks on, trying to break into a car. He gets batted on the head. Paya.
Paya. So when I watched this video for the first time, I love this lady. She is very animated and,
Yes.
and hilarious. And at 65 years old, she's ready to beat his ass with that aluminum baseball bat. And it was paya, right? So when I heard her say that, immediately in my mind, I flew back to, I drew back to the old Batman, the original Batman show.
Oh,
with
yeah.
The captions.
Pow,
popping up.
and yeah.
Bang, kaboom, you know?
Yeah,
That's what I don't know, that sound effect she makes is what it kind of reminded me of.
that's
So,
perfect.
yeah, I
But,
don't.
but so the guy runs back to a trailer, puts on pants, and has cocaine in his pocket. What do you think?
I mean, it's Florida.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I used to think Florida was the place where people went to die, but apparently it's where
Well,
they go to commit
apparently
crimes
they
now.
could, and to pee.
And don't show up on that lady's porch, man, because she will
Paya.
paya your head right off your shoulders.
Yes.
Teaser video this week, Joe. It's time for the big Android story of the week.
All
So last week we had our little poll up for are you an Apple fan or an Android fan? And it was, I don't even know if it was up for 2 hours. It was just kind of a short period of time.
I believe it was 2.5 hours.
2 hours?
And what
2.5
happened?
hours.
What was the
So Android won. It was a
Oh,
60
Android
to 40.
won. 60% to 40%?
So-
Well, and I think there's about 100 people. So yeah, 60-40.
So we've already touched on that. That's old news.
Yes, and it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. However,
But apparently, it does matter to some people. There's some people
I'm
that
just
can't let this go.
reporting on the news of the week. Okay,
All right.
so
All right.
basically, Samsung released a new. If I say phablet, do you know what that means? It's basically it's a phone that kind of folds out into a tablet. Is what they would call a phablet. So
Okay.
it's kind of thick. I've not seen one up close. I envision it probably is.
About that thick.
Yeah, so Joe's got this, and I've actually got one on my phone now too, so he'll make fun of me when he sees it. But it's not as thick as yours. But
That's because it's an Apple product.
yeah. So anyway, Joe's got this like a expendable battery pack. So
It just extends the life of
yeah,
my
it extends
phone.
the life of the
Yeah.
phone. So if you spend
And
a
I
lot
like it bigger because I
it's
can
hard to hold. It's hard
grip
for
the
him to
damn
hold on
thing.
to. So.
Yes.
So for those of you that don't know what they are, basically an expendable battery pack, whether it's for Android or Apple or whatever, you dock your phone into this thing, and it goes into your the bottom of your charging port, and then it wirelessly. Basically, your phone will run off the battery first, and then it will run. At least on the Apple, it will run off the expendable battery first, and then your phone's battery will go down from there. So basically, you have your phone. You should have your phone life for the entire day. I mean,
Right.
it should last forever, pretty much. So.
Yeah.
Even with heavy usage, you shouldn't have to be worried about finding a cord or a portable charger or something like that.
Well, maybe for most people.
Not
I use
for
my
Joe.
phone a lot. Yes.
So do I, and that's kind of why I'm trying it out.
Right.
I'm not minding the thickness so far. I'm actually finding it easier to hold on to my
Yes.
phone right now.
Exactly. Yes.
So, you know, it's phones today, you know, every year when they release phones, whether it's Apple or Android,
They're
they
thinner,
they
they're
get
more
thinner and thinner.
slippery. Yeah, they make you get a case for it because you can't hang on to that thing.
Right, and I think we talked about that last week. You know, it's, I mean, man, these things are so sharp and slick and beautiful when you get them out of the box.
Right, and you got to cover them up right away.
You're almost afraid to even breathe in its general direction. It's like, man, look how shiny and new that is.
Right.
But, you know, the second you put it in your hand, and maybe this isn't a problem for so much for women as it is guys, I don't know, but you know, with the bigger hands, it's gonna be hard to hold on to those things because they're so slick and so thin. So, you know, I pretty much have to have a case on there, but I'm kind of digging that case so far. It's done wonders. You know, you say you're on the phone a lot, but so am I, because I run the social media for my department. I share the social media page with you on the Doe and 5-0 and the YouTube and all that. So I spend way too much time online, but that helps me as far as not having to worry about hooking up to a charger if I got to go run and watch a ball game or something like that for my kids. So, in any event, I just thought this was funny after last week's show. Samsung released, always first to the game, Mike Graves, congratulations, the Galaxy Fold. So,
that seems sarcastic.
So here's a picture of it, Joe. Is basically they've unfolded it to make it turn it into the tablet.
Okay.
And one side of the screen is going out. So,
all right.
Apparently, just about everybody that I think they said it was like $2,000 out of the box for this phone.
Wow.
It came with all the bells and whistles. It came with a high-speed charger and some wireless earbuds and all the stuff that people bash Apple for not doing a lot of the times. And to an extent, that's right. For as much as
so they released it too soon.
Right, and this is not, regardless of what
it's a cool idea though.
Here's you know, you can see that the screen's completely screwed up.
Right.
Here, so, is it neat? It's a neat idea, but it depends on what you're looking for. Some people, and I don't follow the Android message boards much, but I do Apple a lot just in case I have to troubleshoot something. I kind of keep up on that stuff. There's a lot of people in the Apple world that weren't happy when they started going with the bigger phones. Everybody, you know, I'm not sure when that started going up. Maybe with the 6 Plus or something like that was the first really bigger iPhone that I can remember. But people were so used for all those years to having that small phone that they started getting angry that Apple made bigger phones because, well, now I can't fit it in my pocket and blah, blah, blah. So this thing, I'm not sure of the dimensions on it. I didn't bother to look that up, but it's a
cool idea.
Yeah, I mean,
when they get this figured out, I think, but why they shouldn't have released it yet. Don't they have people running around with these for a while to see if they're going to work?
Well, you know, we were talking.
Or are they just so anxious to get the newest thing out before Apple that they put it out there?
And that's what you know, Mike and I like to bust each other's chops when we see each other in the back there. But, you know, his thing was people weren't reading the directions and they don't know how to unfold the phone. Okay.
Yeah, I shouldn't have to read directions for that.
You know, if it was one or two people that are dumb enough to break this $2,000 device, okay, but
seems to be an epidemic.
Yeah, it's to the point where they've actually halted production on the device, and it's back to the drawing board. So it's kind of a black eye for Samsung right now with their coolest technology.
Our teaser background.
Yeah, so the teaser background. We took you to the Samsung Galaxy production line for the Samsung Galaxy Fold. So, you know, always being the first of the game isn't always the best thing.
No.
You know, even me doing a lot of the fundraising stuff, projects, a lot of that's been learn as you go. But once you do the first one, you kind of have a better idea how to make the second one better and smoother. And
so the jailbreak next year is going to be even better?
I don't know if there's going to be
Not for me, there's not. That's just it's just a lie.
He thinks it's a lot. Give me a break.
Well, I'm old.
Yeah, I mean, that just because you're the first of the game doesn't mean that you have all the ins and outs figured out. So, you know, whether you're Apple or Android, I honestly don't care. We just like to make fun of each other for it. But I have not had any hardware issues or anything like that with my Apple devices, and I don't care if they're the first of the game with technology because, to me, once they put out a product, it's right and it doesn't break. The software, especially, is not problematic for me. So.
So you kind of need Android to put it out first so that Apple can work the bugs out of it.
Screw it up, and then we'll work out the kinks. Big deal. So, moving on to the next story, Aussie blokes are forking out up to $1,000 for a Botox on their scrotum.
Aussie, okay, blokes. Okay, so Aussie guys are stupid. What's he doing there?
I think that's just an ad.
I think he's holding his junk.
Maybe he doesn't want the Botox.
I would hold mine too. Why? For what?
Well, most of you think the only place to get injections for Botox would be your face. There's plenty of other areas, and apparently one of those includes, that's right, your testicles. Yes, arguably the most sensitive part of a guy's body is being injected with Botox to make it look more appealing.
For who?
Let's be honest, it's certainly not the prettiest part of a bloke's body, but it seems as though someone wanted to look better. The procedure has been dubbed Scrotox. Obviously, and it costs up to $1,000 apparently a whopping.
So what do? You go to your friends and say, "Hey, just
Check
had
these
some
out."
Scrotox done. This is great. I'm gonna go to a public restroom and start walking around it. I'd have to live in Florida or something, wouldn't I?
Yeah, I mean, you might fit in right down there.
I think I would. That I don't understand. Is that for people that model them? Is that
I mean, I don't.
What is that for?
I don't.
I don't. That's ridiculous.
Are there a lot of nudist beaches in Australia? I don't know. Apparently, a whopping 500,000 of these have been done in Australia alone.
I don't understand. So okay, so you get this done. Let's say there is a nudist beach.
Huh.
So you and I are sitting at the beach going, "Oh, check out that guy's nuts. That looks good."
Well,
That's stupid.
you know, women.
STOOPID.
So women, a lot of women as they get older, they start nitpicking about. And it's ridiculous. I personally think women actually look better as they get older.
Absolutely.
And maybe that's just me getting older. I don't know, but they're more mature, and I don't know. But you know, a lot of women get sensitive about the way they look, and then a lot of them will have breast augmentation or breast lip. I can't even say it, but implants and stuff like that to keep things from drooping down any lower or whatever. So maybe that's the same concept here. Maybe they don't want their balls touching their toes anymore, and they gotta. I just can't imagine sticking the needle in your testicles.
I don't know who's looking at. I don't understand. I really don't. That's a 500,000.
500,000 of these procedures.
No.
So
No.
hey, if any of you Australian folks ever come to Miami County,
We're gonna make fun of you.
Joe's gonna want to see those testicles.
No. No.
I mean, sometimes you can really tell a bad Botox job too, because the skin is
On your testicles?
Well,
How can you say? Boy,
I'm
boy,
talking
they
about
botched
faces.
that one up.
I mean, if their testicles are flat instead of round, that's probably a bad Botox job, right? I don't know.
It's like wafers in there.
Ooh, I wonder if they can do a dye job too. So have the vanilla wafers, chocolate wafers, pink wafers. Maybe they can do that with their balls. I don't know.
This is why you don't tell me what we're going to talk about, isn't it? That's hilarious. That is really okay.
It's disturbing.
Yes, it is. Good.
All right, we got one news story left for the day. Recent study suggests that a man's beard recent study has shown that a man's beard contains more germs than a dog's fur. Professors out of Switzerland's something rather clinic took swab samples from the whiskers of 18 men and compared them with samples of the necks of 30 dogs of varying breeds. They found that all bearded men ages 18 to 76 showed high microbial counts, but only 23 out of 30 dogs had high counts. 7 of the men's samples were to be found harboring in their beards the microbes that posed a threat to the human health. Professor something rather of the something rather clinic. I cannot say their names because they're strange.
Just make up a name. Dr. Smith.
Yeah, that's definitely not Dr. Smith. On the basis of these findings, dog can be considered cleaner than men with beards. And where do these people find the time and money to research this nonsense?
I don't understand they need to be. What are they finding in the beard? Is it because they're touching those prompters at McDonald's first and then scratching their beard?
So here's the grossest thing. I actually, after I read this article, I didn't have a whole lot of detail about what you could find, I guess, in the beard.
Right.
I decided to Google some more information, and the grossest part of this is how the bacteria count from guys with thick beards when they flush the toilet. And this is nothing I ever think about when I go to the bathroom, but there's a lid there for a reason, people. And if you get this out, look this up on YouTube, you'll understand why. Close the lid before you flush the toilet.
Because it splashes up.
Because it splashes up, and even though you can't see it, this bacteria from the toilet and the toilet water is basically it's going all over your bathroom. And this guy had a, what do they call those, like those infrared lights.
Uh-huh.
He turned off the lights in the bathroom, and basically they had made this video where they had disinfected the entire bathroom on the video to start.
Right.
Never cut away or anything, and showed the blue light, looked pretty clean, and then they flushed the toilet, and it was everywhere.
Wow.
It's gross.
I never thought of that.
I haven't either, and
But you know, I've always closed the lid before I flush, but I didn't know. It's just a habit. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I didn't know why I did it. Okay.
that may not be a habit for everybody. It's probably going to be a habit for me now because it really grossed me out. So. Well, what are people doing? Peering down in the toilet as they're flushing it? Well, look at that. So it gets in their beard. I mean, but don't they wash their beards? I mean, a dog is going to be outside rolling around, stuff like that, licking themselves. They can lick their fur. So how? I don't know. Yeah, it's just gross. I don't know. I mean, it's not saying that men don't wash their beards. I mean, I wash mine every day. I was in the shower when I had mine grown out for the winter.
Mm-hmm.
But they just, for whatever reason, it's just like dog hair. And it kind of makes me wonder about anybody with long hair, really. Like women in particular. Your wife's got a lot of hair, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
You might mention that to her next time she goes, hey, Kathy, do you close that lid? If not, don't come near me.
Just stay on your side of the bed, okay?
Your hair suddenly doesn't smell as majestical as it used to. You know, maybe we should go ahead and think about getting those urinal cakes with our faces on it and throwing it in the toilets. And
I think that'd be funny.
good promotional material there.
I wonder if we can do that. Or just a Klingon the back of the urinal.
Yeah, like a decal of some kind.
We'll talk to Cliff
Aim
Bakhorn
here.
about that. Cliff Bakhorn can do that. We're going to talk to him about that. And you know what? We won't even ask any place if we can do it. We'll just start putting them up.
Okay.
You're shaking your head because you know I'm going to do it.
This guy, he's all about the promotion. He does a good job with it. And
What could you be talking about, Lee?
so I come to town yesterday to shoot this video, and the thing with the nurses, basically to support the nurses and all that good stuff. It was a good time, but
It was.
those
nurses were so nice too.
There's for those of you that aren't from our community, there's an overpass where a train goes over one of the main roads in town, and it's probably 2-3 blocks from your shop, I would say. And as I'm getting ready to turn into the alleyway where the bakery is off of, I see this bright blue sign hanging off the overpass. Now, people hang signs from this overpass all of the time.
Yeah.
Be honest with you, I don't even notice half of them because it's usually, especially in the summertime, it's really bad. They're just congested up there. But this time of year, there's not too much up there. And I see this bright blue sign, and I thought, damn, that looks like the same color as the sign that's on our table, which you can't see our table right now, but Joe had some of these banners made up with our with our logo. Pretty much looks like our coffee mugs here, which you can order through our Facebook page. Just give us a shout out and get some information, and we'll
Shirts
get you that.
also.
And shirts. So I immediately avoided my turn and went into towards the area of the bridge, and lo and behold, here's a huge banner with the notified folk just hanging down there. So
as he went past it, he probably noticed that on the other side of the bridge.
you know, I didn't even think about that, and then I turned around. I went around the block and turned around, and lo and behold, it was on the other side of the bridge too. So
That was so fun. I considered it, when I was younger, I got in trouble a lot.
no.
And I know, it's hard to believe. And it never really resulted in jail time, a lot of jail time, maybe a little bit. In school, there's a lot of detention, a lot of homeroom, stuff like that. It was always good fun, never hurt anybody. But, you know, as you get older, you do less and less stuff like that because it's just not considered proper.
Right.
And so I've had these banners in the back of the car for 2 months. And I kept thinking I need to put them up on the bridge. And there's nothing wrong with putting it up there. But I got there about 2:30 in the morning. And I went up there. And it felt so subversive. And it was so fun. It was just, you know, I'd see a car coming. I'd duck down a little bit. There's no real reason for it. But it was so fun to do that. And what's kind of nice, a guy my age, I get caught doing something like that. And it's colorful. I won't get in a whole, if the police stop me, if something was wrong, they'd say, Joe, get off. No, take it down. And then I'm going to go to work. 15 years ago, I'd have probably gotten a little trouble for it. But now I'm just that old crazy baker guy.
Senile old baker. He wasn't take him seriously.
But it was so fun. And I'm tying the crap out of that sign. It's not going anywhere.
So we've been thinking about different ways to promote this so we can start reaching areas, and we have reached areas outside of even Indiana with some of our followers. So we've talked to some people from other places that seem to be enjoying what we're doing.
There's actually other countries that are listening to us.
Is there?
Yeah.
So, we're still trying to figure out our demographic for different things. We're noticing different demographics for different pages, right? So we have a different type of followers on all of our different social media pages. Brad, our guy that's helping us get everything set up, he's actually setting us up on a web page that's going to show us who we're reaching on what podcasting platform and everything. So we should have that pretty soon too. So we don't necessarily just want one demographic. We want everybody that just enjoys having a good time and hearing comical stories and stuff to tune into us. So whether you want to watch us in beautiful different locations every week or just listening to the audio, whatever floats your boat is perfectly fine with us. We just want to try and bring a little bit of comic relief to anybody that needs it. I know I can use it. I enjoy doing these every week, and you and I both have long weeks sometimes, depending on what's going on at work. So
yeah, but I actually look forward to this.
So do I. This is definitely a kind of a way to cut loose and relax for me. So I enjoy doing it. So, but we are thinking about different ways to do some different promoting. So if any of you guys have any out there that do watch us and follow us or listen to us, if you have any ideas for promotion. Feel free to shoot us a private message on our pages, or you can email us or whatever. All of our contact information are on the main Facebook page and the web page as well at doan50.com. So if you guys have any ideas, let us know. We're tossing around some different ideas, and you might see some rather humorous ways to advertise here in the near future. We'll see what all we end up coming up with. So with that being said, we've touched on all the news stories we're going to touch on this week. Got anything else you'd like to add before we head out of here?
No, I have nothing.
Got nothing this week, so. All right, we appreciate everybody following along. It's been a busy week with the promo video with the nurses and shooting the podcast and the video cast this week. So we're gonna work on a few more things and see what we have coming forward to you next week. Don't forget to check out the promo video we had from the beautiful Samsung Galaxy Fold location we had before this week's show. And once again, thank you to the beautiful, majestic Notre Dame Stadium for hosting the show this week, and we will see you guys next week.
See you later.
Go Irish.